are back from the Silver Creek Studios for another episode of Get a Load of This. I'm Jarod.
I am Ryan.
And that is our dishwasher.
Do you think they can hear that?
I don't know.
Oh, It won't do it again now.
No.
Of course not. Yeah. There it is. Anyway.
It is, depending on when you're hearing this and what perspective we want to give. It's,
hopefully you're hearing this bright and early on your morning commute on Cyber Monday.
That's right.
Because that means you've subscribed and you get notified as soon as the episodes are published. But if you're not, then that's okay too.
But either way, you've probably already had Thanksgiving dinner. You've stood through lines on Black Friday.
If you're crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're a glutton for punishment.
That's right. But in reality, it's not quite Thanksgiving yet. We're recording this a few days before, so we are looking forward to all that delicious food. And we're going to discuss a little bit about what dishes we eat and don't eat. What's a tradition in your house and my house?
Yeah, well, that was kind of, obviously there's just you and I here, so we're not going to have too much of a variety as far as the weird shit that people do.
Right.
That was my idea behind it, that I think that in every house across America, there's, everybody sits down and they're like, all right, this is all the food we're supposed to have. Mm-hmm. This is all normal. And then you get married or you go to a friend's house because you're out of town and you go there and you're like, where's the fucking huckleberry pie? And you're like, huckleberry pie? Who the fuck makes that? And we always have huckleberry pie. Right. And I think that everybody has that at their Thanksgiving. Yeah. And I don't know. That's the idea that
we need some listener feedback to let us know what's your weird thing that you went somewhere else and they didn't have it.
Yeah, well, and also, could you live without it? Because there's the things that are oddities at my Thanksgiving. I could take them or leave them. You know, there's the one that I think is turnips, and my mother loves them, and I think my sister likes them too. Maybe it's just my mom. I'm not sure, but they've always been there, so they just persist. Mm-hmm. And I eat like 4 little chunks of turnip every year just because it's out of principle.
Yeah.
But I also think I don't know if Brussels sprouts are a standard staple at Thanksgiving dinners, but they are at mine.
They are at yours? Yeah. Not mine.
But like green bean casserole probably isn't yours.
Yeah.
Not at mine.
Really?
You have weird noodles and gravy and stuff.
Well, before we go too far down that path, I would like a beer.
Yes.
And you brought some interesting beer for us today. What do you got?
Another trip to New Orleans.
Man, you do that a lot.
Hopefully my last trip of 2018. This was a pretty good one, though. We, went down there for Tulane University Parents Weekend, Wave 18, as they call it. It's a big old production, man. Mm-hmm. They make a big deal out of it, and everybody gets a name badge, and it's like a convention, and it was cool. And my parents went down, and my niece and her boyfriend, and it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. We got to hang out with the boy, and did some tailgating on the quad and saw some drunken idiots, and it was fun. It was a good time. And but I kind of made it my thing that every time I go down there, I'm going to pick up a different 6-pack or 12-pack of something. And this time I went to NOLA Brewing Company. I think the last time I went down there, I came back from Urban South.
Right.
And we had what the hell did we have? The Holy Roller. Yep. This is from NOLA Brewing Company. It doesn't have a real fancy name.
No, it's just called Blonde Ale.
Blonde Ale. And it's kind of a cool looking can. Mm-hmm. Nothing too fancy. I don't think I think maybe they're resting on their beer brewing credibility. It
says on the can, this is their flagship beer.
So, I did not try selection. This at the brewery. I don't know what I drank at the brewery. I honestly don't remember, which probably a bad sign of how that night went. But I haven't had a bad NOLA beer. They have a Hopatulus, which is kind of it's a pretty popular IPA. And then what's the other one? 7th Street Wheat, which is pretty good too, which we may hear a little bit about that one sometime down the road. But yeah, this one, haven't tried it. I presume it's going to be good since it is their flagship. Yeah. So we'll give it a shot.
We got some mugs. Let's pour it out and see what it looks like.
We got to get that. We got to can that sound. Have a button to hit. I'm gonna have a problem here. Is it gonna overflow?
What's the problem?
I got too much head.
Mine's got a nice 2-finger head.
Yeah, it looks good. It just looks like a fucking beer. It doesn't look what I expect. I guess it does look.
It's not quite as dark as
what their picture on their website showed.
Right.
But it's pretty good.
It looks good.
I can't drink it because I got to wait for the head to go down.
Yeah, yours is a good 3 to 4 fingers.
I'm not going to do it. So here it says, we created our flagship beer with New Orleanians. I didn't know that's what they call them? New Orleanians. Interesting, in mind. NOLA Blonde is a well-balanced, full-flavored ale brewed for year-round versatility. So whether you're grabbing a sixer, this is horribly written, grabbing a sixer to take to the crawfish boil, or cracking one open on your own front porch, NOLA Blonde is always the right choice.
It's a nice looking gold can with some burgundy and white accents.
NOLA Brewing Company, New Orleans, Louisiana. I feel like a commercial. Maybe they'll pick this up. Maybe we'll finally start getting paid, right? I'm going to give it a drink.
All right, let's do this.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn tasty. Yeah, I could drink 6 of those.
A sixer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I guess they would. Did they say it's a wheat ale? Is that what it?
No, I don't think so. Just a
well balanced, full flavored ale. It to me tastes like some of the wheat ales that I've had. I don't know if it's a wheat or not, but it's good. It's not too overpowering. It's definitely not in the realm of IPAs with that really bitter pine cone hop flavor.
Right.
But it's good. I like it. It's kind of, like we said, it's not as dark as we would have thought. It is a little darker than like a Budweiser lager, but
sure. But it's good. That's all I can say about it. Here, let's give it a rating. I'll give it I'll give it a solid 6.4.
Okay.
I could probably go a little higher than that, but I'm sticking with my 6.4.
We need a board to track.
We should probably write this stuff down.
Ratings.
Yeah, work on that. Get us a whiteboard.
Yeah,
let's just
I'll do that.
Paint one of the walls with that whiteboard material so that we can
chalkboard.
We can write on the walls.
Yeah.
Like we're toddlers.
I agree. It's not a 7. I would say 6.5. You said 6.4.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
I think that if we try the 7th Street, it's the 7th Street wheat, which is definitely a wheat ale.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to rank a little higher. I don't know. We'll see. I was kind of tipsy whenever I drank it the last time. It was tasty though, but it's real crisp and clean and just it has a real nice finish. And I'm using beer drinker words here, right? That was really good. But this is good too. It does have a little bit of an aftertaste. It's definitely a full flavored, beer, but it's good.
I think it's 5% ABV. Yep. Tasty.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that shit.
Good job.
NOLA Brewing Company.
Good pick.
Blonde Ale. Yep. We're gonna, we're almost out of. It'll be next spring at the earliest before I make it down there and try to go to another. There's a shitload of breweries, of microbreweries down there, and what I did learn is I can't remember the damn name of it. I'll think of it. But one of the breweries, I was reading something on their website. Just looking at places to go with the whole group, and they were talking about how before Katrina there was one brewery down there, and it was Dixie Brewing, and Dixie has some good beer too. They have a black was it Black and Voodoo? I think it's good beer. But that was it. They had Dixie Brewing Company, and then after Katrina hit, Dixie I think they moved some of their stuff out of. Obviously, they had to. They couldn't continue business down there, and so. A lot of beer lovers said, hey, why shouldn't there be more in New Orleans? It's Denver and all the other St. Louis and Nashville. They're all starting to be known for their small breweries, and so why not? And so now there's a crap ton down there, and I'm telling you, everyone that I've run across is solid gold. Nice. It's good stuff,
Yeah.
So good for them.
Well, Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Let's run down kind of.
I thought about doing, and we're not prepared to do this, but I thought about doing we did the Mount Rushmore of baseball uniforms and stuff like that, but we'd have to do like a Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving foods of the also rans. It can't be turkey, can't be stuffing, can't be mashed potatoes, can't be what else? Cranberry sauce. None of the standard stuff. It has to be like
you're just being a dick.
Well, it has to be the other stuff, right? The stuff because
that is the other stuff. Turkey's the only main.
No, I think turkey, stuffing, cranberries, they're always there, right? Mashed potatoes are generally always there, I think.
Right.
But like you have your things and like Brussels sprouts. I don't think that's a
no. Well, I mean, people eat them,
but I love Brussels sprouts and I love them at Thanksgiving, and it's a standard thing. And my mom actually has a specific dish that is for Brussels sprouts at Thanksgiving. Yeah. She has a specific dish for the stuffing at Thanksgiving that only comes out at Thanksgiving.
Right.
So one time we ever use it.
Gravy boats that only come out at Thanksgiving.
They only come out at Thanksgiving, and but I don't know. I think that Mount Rushmore, whatever, would probably have your your green bean casseroles and your what's that, cornflake potato cheesy.
Right.
See, we don't have that at our Thanksgiving
like
either.
Au gratin potatoes or whatever.
No, it's the one with that's cornflakes.
Oh, with
on
actual
top.
cornflakes on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what they call it. Cornflake potato, cheesy potato, something like that. But I imagine those would be on a lot of people's Mount Rushmores. But
so, how do you guys prepare turkey?
We do 2 turkeys.
Oh, okay.
We do, and even though our numbers have dwindled, and there's, I guess at this point there's like 8 of us. That's it. But at one point we had a pretty big crowd on Turkey Day. So we've always done 2 turkeys. We do one that my mom puts in the roaster. She's done it in the oven a couple times, but usually she gets out like an old fashioned roaster and sits on the counter, and that's. I don't know what she does to it. She seasons it with something, and it sits there all friggin' day, and eventually it's awesome. About 15 years ago, maybe more, we started deep frying a turkey. And we've done one every year for a really long time. And that's kind of my job. It was my dad and I that we started doing it, and now he's kind of like, yeah, all right, you got it. He just kind of lets me roll with it. So I bought the turkey. I got almost a 16-pounder. I bought the peanut oil. Bought the marinade to inject in it, and I bought some Tony Chicheries, or however you pronounce that, seasoning to rub all over that bird.
So have you had any incidents with the deep fryer?
No, because I'm not a fucking moron.
Well,
there's a lot of morons out there.
You never just wanted to try it? Drop a frozen one in there and see what happens?
I think, the people that drop frozen ones, they're just absolute idiots. But there's other people that have gone through all the, they've missed one critical step, right?
Right.
And that's usually measuring how much oil you need to have in the pan. They'll just glub, 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 fill that prick up, and then, it's hot enough. Come on, Billy Bob, put the turkey in there. And it overflows, and it sets the fucking garage on fire. Yeah. That's another error. Don't do it in your fucking garage. Do it on a level ground, away from all structures, in case there is a fire. People are stupid, but it's entertaining. It's fun to watch them blow their shit up. But no, we've never had an incident. The worst things that we've done is we've stained driveways with grease and things like that.
Oh yeah, right.
I ruined a tarp one year because I thought, well, I'll just put this tarp down underneath it. Well, it melted. The grease popped out and melted the tarp. Right. So that didn't work very well. We learned our lessons there. So now we just do it in the grass or the mulch, and we set up a couple rocks to make it level. And It works, man, and it's delicious. The things I've learned about deep frying a turkey is that you can't have it too big a bird because you got to cook it longer than. And then the the wings and the legs, they get burnt to a crisp, and they're not any good. You get the right weight.
We've had the last couple of years because my in-laws generally, we go to their house for Thanksgiving, and then generally the next day we'll have my family over. But at the in-laws, they fried a turkey, deep fried for several years. But recently, the last few. We've done is it brining, I guess, where you put in a bag with whatever seasoning and salt water generally.
Yeah, and let it sit for a couple days or whatever.
Yeah, and oh my God, that is so much better.
That's really, a game changer,
really good. Yeah, very tender, juicy, flavorful. It makes it awesome.
It makes me think of Christmas Vacation whenever they cut the turkey open and it's dry as hell. It's just but we've never had a bad turkey. I don't.
Right.
In all my life, whether it was my grandmother making it or my mom, never had a bad one. And I don't know how you could. I'm sure it happens, but Do
you guys actually stuff a turkey with stuffing?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like we've done that before, but generally we don't.
No.
It's kind of a mess.
Maybe my mom has, but I've never witnessed that. I mean, it's like, and I've heard that it's not necessarily good either because there's a lot of bacteria in there that if you leave that cavity open and cook it, then it cooks all that stuff out. But if you stuff it with a bunch of bread, then it soaks up all those.
I think you can cook it for a while first, and then once it's cooked, then you can stuff it.
Just put it in a pan.
Yeah, stovetop stuffing. Come on.
No, you don't do stovetop. I mean, I don't know what my mother does.
Yeah,
but
I don't actually know either.
She makes some badass stuffing, and it's. I'm looking forward to it.
Did you ever call it dressing?
Yeah,
is it dressing or stuffing?
They're interchangeable to me.
Yeah, I think I grew up, it was always called dressing.
Yeah.
And then when somebody said stuffing, I was like, what the fuck is stuffing? Dressing,
The same shit, yeah. You ever had oyster stuffing?
Yeah, I don't prefer it, but...
See, my mom did that one year, and I don't even know if she told everybody. She just did it. And then she's like, well, that's why my mom always made it, and nobody could tell the difference. Yeah. Nobody knew that. It was like, there was a little bit... After she said it, like, oh, yeah, okay, I thought there was something a little off, but it wasn't terribly different than... So
it's like your chili with onions.
Those onions mean something. Man. It's award-winning chili.
It was good. I had Ryan's chili the other day. It was phenomenal.
Well, my mother made it, but same recipe, basically. And I happened to be at her house, and she wanted me to try out the chili that she was taking to her office for a chili cook-off with an office full of men. She's she's one of two women in the office. Yeah. And so she's like, you got to try it and tell me something's missing. So I tasted it, and it was good. And I was like, yeah, you're right, though. Something's off. And let it cook a little bit. I said, maybe you add more chili powder. Maybe you need more cumin. Maybe, And then she's like, no. I said, I think you definitely need more salt. She tried that. I'm like, still missing something. Finally, it occurred to me. I'm like, it's missing garlic. And a lot of people don't add garlic to their chili. It's not a common, maybe it is a common, but
it's not what you think of when you're listing ingredients.
No. And I said, you need to add some garlic powder, not garlic salt, but garlic powder because you already got enough salt in there. And she added it, and we let it sit and simmer for 5 or 10 minutes. Taste it, and I was like, boom, that's what you were looking for right there. And she added some cayenne to it as well. I'm giving all my secrets. But not big secrets. But it won.
Nice.
It won. She kicked everybody's ass, and she called me that day. She's like, I'm a winner. And so she wants like a gift certificate to a cooking store or something like that. So I was like, there you go. We're like, 2 championships, right? I feel like I need to enter this chili and more cook-offs because it's so simple too. She sent me all the pictures of all the other people that brought their chili in, and every single one, with the exception of 1 or 2, but all of them were just too elaborate. They were trying. They had like 4 different kinds of beans, and they had like steak, and it's like, no, just keep it simple. The only thing that I would try that any of these guys tried was that they added some like breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
They instead of, because I always just use ground beef, but I'm like, I could get on board with adding breakfast sausage. I'm down with that, like half and half.
That's what we do. We use ground beef, pork sausage, preferably spicy pork sausage, and then bacon.
See, and bacon,
it's good stuff.
I think that I could handle adding some bacon into it, but then I think chili should be just simple. It's basic. When you try to make it too fucking elaborate, that's whenever it goes off the rails.
Well, I can't argue with your results. It was really good, but that wasn't for Thanksgiving. That was just some chili.
We're talking about extra ingredients. Also, what he's talking about is that I basically use a whole bag of onions when I make a pot of chili. But did you see any onions?
There was not a single onion visible, or
because it's cooked right.
Yep.
And they all just disintegrate, and they just turn into flavor and awesomeness. But anyway, that's what happened to the oysters. Basically, on her stuffing is that nobody really knew they were there, and it was still good. But she was like, well, it wasn't worth it. It's like, I'm not going to do that every year if nobody can tell the difference between that and my other stuffing. Yeah. So she stopped doing it.
So we talked about dishes that you don't always have or that you think is normal at your household, but it's not. Nobody else has it. So my mother-in-law makes homemade noodles. She's rolling out dough.
Like egg noodles? Or
I'm
going to say your basic noodle.
Just like a floury,
It's probably just flour, water, and egg.
Probably.
Which I think is an egg noodle.
I guess that's an egg
maybe,
noodle.
I don't know.
If you can correct us on
you'll find out in a couple of days.
Right. I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, they go through the whole trouble of rolling out this long sheet of dough and then cutting these long strips out and cutting them into little pieces and doing whatever and making these noodles and then gravy and I guess they pour it over the turkey. So like that's their...
Really?
Yes. So they pour this gravy and noodle combination
over the turkey,
over the potatoes, over what? I mean, you don't have to, but that's what they do with it.
I'm down with it.
And I've never heard of that before.
No, me neither.
But they do it every year, and it's good.
It's their tradition, and that's good. But
right.
if someone were to introduce that, I would be 100% on board. You can never have too many starches when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner. We got mashed potatoes. We got some, what else is in there? There's other starches, too. Well, obviously, we eat a lot of bread. Yeah, sweet potatoes.
So I want to get into that.
Yeah.
That's a very divisive issue, apparently.
Well, I don't know. I think most people... I think I'm abnormal in this, but go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you are a fan, right?
Oh, well, yes, I am a big fan. So, but there's a little bit of background, and we need to discuss what is a sweet potato? What is a yam?
They're the same fucking thing.
Well,
I guarantee you.
I'm going to tell you why I'm going to tell you why they aren't.
They're not. I looked at it today.
I've done some research.
I did too. Damn it.
I did too. What are you talking about?
They're the same fucking thing.
No.
All right, tell me why a yam is different than a sweet potato.
Technically, yams are from Africa and Asia.
Oh, Jesus.
And they look, on the outside, they would look like a sweet potato. They're kind of that tubular, right?
Okay, yeah, a little longer than your regular spud.
A little bit different color, but they can get very big. I think I read they can even get like 5 feet long, but generally they're, the same size as,
I think,
Yeah. But that's not what people think they're getting when they go to the store and buy yams.
Okay.
You can get those over here, but you got to go to like an International Foods type of thing, Whole Foods, whatever. Yeah. So where it gets tricky is that at least in the U.S., but I think in other parts of the world, apparently they do cross over the name sweet potatoes and yams. There are 2 kinds of sweet potatoes, basically hard and soft. Hard sweet potatoes are a little paler, a little lighter, and when they cook up, they stay hard and kind of almost crispy, like a potato would be. Where a soft sweet potato is orange, and when you cook it up, it gets soft and whippy, right? So that's what we all think of with sweet potatoes and candied yams or whatever, is that orange colored soft sweet potato. So when you're buying a sweet potato, you're probably buying the soft ones, which are the orange ones. But that a lot of times is labeled as a yam, and the hard sweet potatoes are called sweet potatoes. So you gotta know. Mm-hmm. But you're right; they're the same thing in the sense of, in the U.S. stores just call them the same thing.
I feel like
technically not
Dr.
yams.
Sheldon Cooper's Fun with Yams.
Fun with yams. Yeah. But that being said, you throw some brown sugar and some marshmallows on top of that.
That's disgusting.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, that's horrible.
And it gets served at the table with the main course. It's not dessert, yet it's just like a dessert. It's so delicious.
I don't like them. I mean, I eat, well, we don't, I think my sister maybe sometimes when she makes them, she'll do the whole marshmallow thing.
Right.
Usually when my mom makes them, she just makes like, I don't know what she does. Maybe she puts some brown sugar on them or something like that, but they don't have all the other, all the marshmallow and shit like that on it. And I kind of eat those like I eat the turnips. It's an obligatory thing. I'm like, all right, it's Thanksgiving. I got to eat a couple bites of this and a couple bites of that. But I got to save room for all the mashed potatoes and the turkey and the stuffing and all the other, and the Brussels sprouts and the good shit. The good shit that I like. To
me, the sweet potato casserole is the good shit. That's I would gladly eat half a plate of that, half a plate of turkey, and some gravy.
Yeah, see, I know I'm probably in the minority on the whole sweet potato thing, but I'm just not a fan of them.
Well, I was going to say, so nearly everyone in our family, like the in-laws and all that, they don't touch them.
Really?
There's only a handful of people in our family that eat them. And on my side, I think more of us eat them.
Okay.
But we probably grew up eating it. But yeah, I always ask, like, why don't you like this? It's like a dessert. And everybody just kind of sneers and, I don't want that. It's gross.
I got pumpkin pie for dessert, you know?
I guess.
I don't
delicious.
know. I think everybody else almost everybody in my family, they like the sweet potatoes, but I'm just not. Yeah. I'm not a sweet potato guy. I'm not a sweet kind of guy. It's like, well, unless I'm eating dessert, you know, then I'm down with the sweets, you know. Even cranberries, which
I was going to ask you about that.
You know, I will eat cranberries. I like them, but a lot of people put that shit right on their turkey.
Right.
And, nope.
No,
that's a separate bowl that I have to put my shit in because I don't want that.
Do you do the
touching.
Can where you just plop and it comes out in the shape of a can with the little ridges on it? I think
we almost
slices
forever, as long as I can remember, that's what we did. That was the standard. And then I don't know, 10 years ago, my mom and dad decided they were going to start making like real cranberries, and they would go buy the cranberries and they'd make a mold and they boil them and whatever the hell they do. I don't know how the hell they make them. I prefer the can.
It always cracks me up, like all the effort people go through to bake a turkey and make this and make that from scratch.
20 minutes.
And it's like, plop this can, comes out, and there you go.
Well, I think more than that is how long it takes for people to eat. So you go through all this trouble. You spend all day, sometimes multiple days, preparing for this meal. And then everybody sits down, and most of the people who haven't done a lick of work towards this dinner, and they just shovel food in their face and then belch and move on with the rest of it. It takes them 20 minutes. Meanwhile, like my mother, has worked her ass off for a day, at least a full day of work, and she's tired.
She's probably going to work her ass off just as much after the meal, cleaning things up, putting stuff away.
That's an interesting point you make. So my children, I'll give them a lot of credit here, and I think the oldest one may have started this before he became an asshole. Now we'll see what happens come Thanksgiving, how this plays out. But they do the dishes.
Oh wow!
And they don't do all of them, but they do all like the plates and the cups and all the stuff that they can't do. Like when it comes to pots and the bigger stuff, they save that because they don't know what the hell they're doing and they're going to end up breaking something. But they do a really good job. They'll clear the table and they'll do the dishes. I will say this, and I'll call them out. I don't know if they're going to listen or not, but my nieces, they need to step it up a little bit because they don't do that a whole lot. I think they have a couple times, but pretty religiously, the boys. Primarily the older two. The younger one, he's usually still eating. He's a little slower. He likes to eat a little bit more too.
Right.
But they're pretty good about cleaning up dinner. But there's always some work to do afterwards, especially when you fry the turkey. You got to do something with the old grease, and there's a lot of it's a lot of friggin' work, So be thankful for whoever's making you dinner. If you're not pitching in and doing something, be thankful for those poor saps that have spent all day in the kitchen.
So it occurred to me when we were talking about doing this for the podcast, when did all this start? I mean, I know as kids we talk about in history class the first
Indians,
Thanksgiving and the Pilgrims and the natives, but
that's all been debunked. It's not really been debunked. I think there was a first Thanksgiving, wasn't there? That's been proven, I think, to some degree.
Yeah, but of course, I did some research, right? Because that's what I do. So I'm reading about this, checking different websites and verifying some things or whatever, but yeah, apparently there was, what was considered the first Thanksgiving. But what I didn't realize, I guess I've grown up this whole time thinking of Thanksgiving as an American holiday because it's the Pilgrims in the New World, right? And our country. No, not really. Apparently, many countries celebrate their own version of Thanksgiving because it kind of traces back to the end of a successful harvest.
Right.
And so all these communities and countries and peoples that are harvesting their food are celebrating at the end of the year. Well, at the end of the summer generally.
Right.
So, yeah, it turns out this is a kind of not an original thing to our new world.
It's international.
Yeah, and it really wasn't new here for what we considered the first Thanksgiving. They were already celebrating this time of year and the harvest and all that stuff. But I do believe there definitely was a first year that they celebrated this in a bigger fashion. There's even some debate about where it took place and who really was behind it.
Whether there were actually Indians there.
And some of it was like this was Native a religious
Americans.
thing.
I should say Native Americans. My apologies to all of the...
Right.
Yeah.
This was a religious thing. Others say, no, this wasn't religious. This was, social and whatever. But there has been, not necessarily like every year on the fourth Thursday of the month, but it was a thing that did go on. But like I said, it goes on all over the world. But it wasn't until 1863, I believe, that Abraham Lincoln pushed for it to become an official holiday. And there was a lot of movement. In fact, I read something. There was some woman who said she had written politicians for 40 years trying to get Thanksgiving to be recognized as an official holiday, and finally Lincoln stepped in and said, okay.
Well, so obviously, we know why it's a holiday now. We're supposed to be thankful, but yeah, it's like, what? I guess I'm a hypocrite because I'm such a hater of Halloween because there's no real, like, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really, I guess I go back to what I learned in grade school, that it's the first harvest. It's the Indians and the Pilgrims were breaking bread together to show their alliance, and then we killed them all. Allegedly, not allegedly, we fucking killed them all.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but here, try some corn.
Yeah. But I think that's what we were taught. Right? Was like the white man, the Pilgrims, were going to die. They weren't going to make it through the winter if the Native Americans hadn't stepped in and taught them how to harvest and grow and harvest corn, and they gave them food and animals and meat and whatever, right? And they were thankful for this. Look how they all came together. I kind of doubt that's how it happened. They were farming
in the old country.
Right.
They were, they knew how to do this shit.
I don't necessarily think
they didn't come over here thinking like, oh, there's going to be everything there for us. We're just going to walk in and everything. They had to know that, hey, this isn't going to be easy, right?
Right. So I think that narrative is maybe a little untrue, but it's a good story. But I think even since then...
And now it's turned into at least one shitty football game out of 3 now. And,
it is 3 now, yeah.
Yeah, there's always 3 games. But it's always... Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine about the Lions. So the Lions, since like the 30s, I think, have been the Thanksgiving Day, have had a game on Thanksgiving. They've been doing a lot, and then the Cowboys didn't start until the 70s.
Okay. And
it's because... they wanted to be America's team, and everybody should want to watch the Cowboys, right? But it's really the Lions. They're the original, the OG Turkey Day game, and but because they've been so shitty for so long, everybody complains like, why the hell are we watching the friggin' Lions? Why do they always get a game? Well, that's just because of history, I mean, it's damn near 80 years of of watching the Lions on Thanksgiving, but. Everything changes, right? It's I guess it's all for the best, and as long as there's someone out there, and there's always going to be some old codger like ourselves that's going to say, well, the real reason why you're supposed to be celebrating is you're supposed to be thankful for everything, not just your family and the food and all that shit, but thankful for this fucking country that we live in, the fact that we're free, thankful for, everything that you have, even if you don't have much.
And that's okay, right? That's a good sentiment, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we don't necessarily need to limit it to thankful for the food from the harvest or whatever,
Right.
Just thankful for all kinds of stuff.
Be grateful, fuckers. It's as simple as that.
Just calm the fuck down and be thankful.
Be grateful that you have a smartphone that you're probably listening to this podcast on.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not grateful for listening to this podcast, but that's, to be determined,
We're working on it.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought of another thing that we do for it's not just a Thanksgiving thing. It's kind of a weird food, though. We do it for pretty much any family meal, like Easter, or, any big family meal. And it's, we refer to it as cooked cheese.
Okay.
Which seems... weird, right? But it is, I think it's a Depression era type food. It's basically cottage cheese that you put you buy a carton of cottage cheese, you put baking soda in it. You don't put the lid back on tightly because now it's gonna sit there and it's gonna bubble and it's gonna create some chemical reaction. And you let that shit sit for I don't know how long. Couple hours, something like that, and it basically bubbles. The baking soda does some stuff to it, and it gets kind of nasty, quite honestly. And you pour that shit into a saucepan with, I don't know how much butter, but some butter. And then you basically stir it until it gets to like a smooth consistency. So now you have cottage cheese that you've added baking soda to, and you put it in a saucepan, you heat it up, and butter. And then, the original recipe from my grandmother and her sisters called for 2 slices of Kraft American cheese. Now, it's changed a little bit. We use Velveeta because it's better, not better for you and not natural in any way, but it has a little bit more kick to it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And you
I like Velveeta.
And you keep stirring it until it's a real nice smooth consistency, and then you pour it into a dish, and people slather that on their homemade bread every Easter and Thanksgiving. and other holidays. And it is fucking delicious. It is
really.
It is one of the things that
I
look
like
forward
cottage cheese, but now you've
it has
turned
no
it into
resemblance to cottage cheese at all. It has when it's done, it looks nothing. It looks like almost like a thick queso, but it has no Mexican traits at all. It has no Hispanic flavors to it. It is basically just. It tastes like cheese, and it has this nice smooth consistency. Oh my god, it's fucking amazing! It's the best stuff. But I'm pretty sure that's not everywhere. But it kind of goes along with what I was talking earlier today about this. Is that a lot of our foods are Depression era. They're born out of not having a lot and having to make the most out of what you did have. And that's one of those things. Is that they had we got cottage cheese. What can we make this into? Yeah, and or. Like my grandmother would eat the gizzard and would eat the chicken livers and would eat every part of that damn turkey. And it's like, oh, that's fucking gross,
I'm glad we've gotten away from all that, but maybe
like some like hamburger casseroles and stuff like that. We still make one at my house that's a Depression food that I guess my great grandmother made during the Depression. It was she could get hamburger and she could get elbow macaroni. And she could get a little bit of cheese and celery and tomatoes and that, and she made a casserole out of it. And it's evolved over the years, and now we call it more. For whatever reason, my grandfather allegedly said, "That's so good, I always want more of it." And so it got called more back in the 50s or something like that. And we still make it now with Velveeta.
Right.
and it's a little easier, but it's cheap. It costs, other than the Velveeta, it's dirt cheap to make this stuff, and it feeds the whole family and everybody's happy. And I'm like, I think a lot of foods are like that, where it's just simple foods that were born out of minimalist shit.
So
anyway,
going back to the sweet potato casserole, what you were just saying kind of reminded me. I was doing some research about it, and they talked about in the early 20th century, I want to say it was like 1917 or something, was the first documented article or recipe or whatever of sweet potato casserole. But they talked about the marshmallows that were on top. Apparently, marshmallows used to be handmade, and they were a delicacy. They were only the wealthy could afford marshmallows, right? Because they were difficult and time-consuming to make, so expensive. And then some machine came out that could puff out these marshmallows
in the million at a time. Yeah.
And so it became affordable, and it was actually recommended to use in place of meringue and whipped cream and things, because those things took more time and effort to make a meringue. So they said, "Oh, just put marshmallows on it instead of meringue or whatever." And so people started substituting that in their recipes. And that's how it first ended up on sweet potato casserole.
I've seen like on a Food Network or something like that, people that make like, I guess they call it like handmade marshmallows, like some artisan marshmallows, which, whatever, I mean, they look cool. I mean, they got all kinds of different flavors and all kinds of different decorations and shit, but it is interesting how it all comes together. But I can see how they used to be a delicacy or whatever. Anyway, I think that's enough about food.
Yeah. So the other kind of, as soon as Thanksgiving's over, a lot of us start quickly planning our shopping spree, and they're going to go get in line at the local Best Buy or Walmart or whatever for midnight.
Not
Black
even midnight
Friday.
anymore.
Yeah,
now it's like 2 o'clock on Thanksgiving. Walmart opens, or who was it? It was JCPenney or something like that. Opens at 2 o'clock on Thanksgiving, which is bullshit. I think that sucks. I would quit. I wouldn't work for JCPenney if that's their new policy. But like, nah, you know what? I'll go over to TJ Maxx and I'll work there. They're closed until at least midnight on Thanksgiving evening.
I do think it's bullshit. You got a national holiday that nearly everyone, respects and honors or whatever, and you're like,
unless you work at a gas station or 7-Eleven, and then those have always been open.
Even some of those close or close completely. You can't get gas at some places, but So I'm guessing based on your reaction that you don't do the Black Friday waiting in line thing.
No, I did it once or maybe twice when the kids were smaller and I thought I was going to get some special deal or whatever. I did it one year. It had nothing to do with the kids. It was all about me. And I went to Best Buy for their Black Friday stuff. And it was when I was finishing my basement. This is, a long time ago, like 15 years ago or something. And they had a projector and like a surround sound set up and it was all very cheap. And so I fought through all this bullshit for an HD projector and the surround sound deal. I ended up taking back the projector after like a week.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that once.
Yeah. And then, but I kept the surround sound, and I still use it. It's in the basement. And it's good stuff. It's Pioneer. But it was cheap, but it wasn't worth the bullshit.
Right.
It's like I will never do that again. I don't like people. Especially the people that are gonna elbow me for a TV,
Well, and the best deals on whatever thing, whether it's a flat screen TV or computer or projector or whatever, they generally only have like 3 of them, and so your chances of even getting it are slim anyway.
Right.
So now you've waited in line, you've dealt with all this shit, and they ran out of the thing you want. Right. So fuck that.
No, I think we're all going away from that. I mean, with the internet and Amazon and other retail, Walmart, even online, I mean, they have their Black Friday stuff. You can do it all from the comfort of your couch. And that's all. I won't do it. They would, I don't know what the deal would have to be, but it would have to be something pretty fucking spectacular for me to get up and at the time, they weren't doing the open on Thanksgiving evening. You had to get up at like 5 a.m. and stand at the door and wait for and do the doorbuster sales, and it's like, fuck that. No, I got my belly full of food. I drank a little bit on Thanksgiving.
Right.
I need to sleep in. I need to relax.
And it's not even a reasonable well, if you get there a little early, if you get there a couple hours before they open, you'll get in line. No. You got to be there. Not even midnight. You got to be there the night before.
Yeah, you're skipping Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And
you'll see it on the news. Yeah. In 2 days, maybe not even 2 days, we'll see some asshole with a fucking pup tent sitting out in front of the Walmart. Right. They're like, whoa, what are you waiting out here for? It's like, well, they got this HD TV I gotta have. It's like, dude, you probably can't even afford the phone that you called your wife on to say, bring you some more Cheetos. Yeah. And you're sitting in line up here waiting for this TV that you need.
Now, a truly responsible consumer would go get the best deal that they could, and they would wait to get. Just because they're getting a deal doesn't mean they can't afford it. But I know what you mean.
Well, you've seen some of the video of these people. I'm telling you, some of them probably shouldn't be out. They should probably have their priorities a little bit altered. But I don't know.
I do like the whole Cyber Monday concept. So it's kind of after the rush has gone down, the weekend's over, you're sort of back to normal, but it's like, oh, hey, I can get online at work or in the morning at home or whatever and still get some good deals. So
the problem is I think all online retailers do it, but Amazon is so monolithic now. I mean, it's so huge that's where everybody thinks that's where the deal, and they do have great deals. But I think last year what kind of pissed me off. It's like you go there and they're just shoving Amazon shit down. Oh, you need a Fire Stick. You need an Alexa. You need this. It's just like, no, I'm not looking for that shit. You know? Maybe some people are, I'm sure.
Yeah, some people just want a deal. It doesn't matter what it is. I want to get
past all of the crap that you're peddling, and I want to get to the real deal, if it's whatever it is. I want to buy a drone. That's what I want to buy. Really? I want to buy like I forget the name of the brand of it because I don't know enough about this stuff.
I don't know, like a Phantom 4 or something or whatever.
There's some badass drones out there, and so if anybody's selling one, let me know. I might, if you're upgrading to the newest, latest, and greatest model.
I only know one person who has really nice drones, and they might want to sell one.
Really?
I'll let you know.
Brother-in-law?
Yeah.
All right on. Yeah. Talk to him for me.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, I don't need to have the latest and greatest, but we had a friend over the summer at a graduation party that brought his drone, and man, that thing was amazing, man. I mean, he had it a couple miles away and had perfect video. And it was just unbelievable, and he just hit a button, and that thing came back and landed exactly where it took off from.
Yeah,
and then we did it again. I stood where it took off from, and it stopped. And I thought, this thing's going to fucking land on me, right? And it stopped, and it was like, obstruction detected. Please check landing area. And it took 10, 15 seconds, found a new spot, landed 4 feet away. without. I was like, that's awesome. That's also scary as hell, but it's awesome.
I'm not really into the whole drone thing. I don't really crave one or want to spend the money on it, but they are pretty cool.
Yeah.
The technology is amazing. Like you said, my brother-in-law has one, and it's insane what it can do, how far it can go, how accurately it can track. Like you said, obstacle avoidance, not just on the ground, above it, around it. You can have it, you can program it to like lock onto a moving vehicle like a car and have it track, it'll stay with it, so you could do like some neat cinematography with it and film something cool like that.
That's cool stuff.
It is cool,
but also scary.
But also, like, what am I going to do with it?
If you could equip it with weapons, and now it's following your
That's
enemy.
true.
You know, I mean, how long until we're there? You know, it's cool, but
I
terrifying.
think we're already there.
Yeah, I'm sure we are.
We might have been there in like 1992.
Yeah, but I'm saying when it's in the consumer's hands.
I'm
saying just a regular Joe where you can, I'm sure someone's. Maybe we should think about.
Hey, Amazon's going to bring our packages with a drone, drop it off on the front porch.
Yeah, I'm saying, how long until some terrorists get some crazy idea, And I think you when you see a drone, like we're out at the drawing up at town at the bar or whatever, and they have a drone up there, or you're up at the town fair or something like that, you don't think twice about it. You're like, oh, yeah, cool, there's a drone. And you just kind of go on about your life. It's like, we're getting too comfortable with these things that are flying around.
That drone's carrying C4.
Yeah. I mean, who's to say, you know? I mean, they could be 3 miles away and just drive this fucking thing in and, maybe we're giving the wrong ideas to people.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
And we deny all liability.
We do not condone any of that. Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out the name of the damn thing because it's bugging me. And I'm sure there's drone aficionados out there. It is called that's not it. I would have thought it'd been the first one I clicked on.
I want to say like DJI is the brand.
Yeah, DJI. It's Mavic. DJI Mavic Pro.
Yeah,
Mavic,
that sounds right.
There's Mavic Air and there's Mavic Pro, but they're like, here. I mean, this is DJI Mavic Air quadcopter with remote control. $700.
Yeah, I would have expected more than that, actually.
Yeah, that's just a pretty good deal. And then, they have the one with like, it comes with extra batteries and shit. It's like $800. And then, but that's the Air. And then the Pro is like $1,000 easy. And then if you want all the other shit, it's like $1,200.
I think that's the thing. Once you get all the stuff that you actually would want, which is the extra battery pack and the 4K camera and the the whatever tracking this and blah blah blah. Yeah, then you're spending $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. But
I don't know if it's worth it. But if I could find a deal on a used one, that's well kept, I'm down with that. I wonder what the resale value. I wonder if there should be a Kelly Blue Book listing for Mavic drones.
So, do you do the what do they call it? Saturday local shop local thing?
No.
You don't care that much about your local community?
No, again, I don't like people.
Yeah.
I like all of our listeners. They're all wonderful.
People are great.
But you're not close to me.
Back off.
If you were within 3 feet of me, I probably wouldn't like you. But because you're, all across the country, hopefully. That's great. No, I don't know. I think I would encourage people to support their local businesses and the small shops and stuff like that, but I have no desire.
I can't say that I do or that we do as a family. I
think my wife has done that a couple
I'm sure we
times.
have, but I don't go out of my way to make sure we go.
The one store in our town that I would actually maybe be interested in buying something from, and I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure if I said it, you would know it. But she has cats.
Oh,
and they just roam through the store. And she sells a lot of T-shirts.
Oh no!
So and they're kind of cool T-shirts. It's like she's got cool catchy phrases and stuff like that. And I'm like, but no, I can't even go in that store because I start itching as soon as I walk through the friggin' door. And like, if you own a store, don't let your animals run around and climb on your product. That's a bad business move.
I agree. Though there's a lot of cat people out there.
Well, they
love their cats.
They can go to that store and buy all they want, but you're cutting out about half the population because
I'm with you. Fuck cats.
I mean, I don't hate cats. I mean,
I do.
I'm allergic to them, so I hate them in that regard. But I think they're fucking adorable. Holy shit!
What happened?
I don't believe my eyes. Yeah. No, this is a monumental occasion, people. The one and only Joe has just entered the building. He's back, triumphant return from, I'm not sure where the fuck you've been.
Mostly Atlanta.
Mostly Atlanta. No, we're gonna wrap this one up here in a little bit, but yeah, Joe's gonna be here. You know, we don't even have a fucking microphone hooked up for him. We gotta work on this. So just talk loud, Joe. If you got anything to say, say, you fucking guys are idiots.
Touchdown, ATL.
No, we were
How's
talking.
It going?
Going great. Going good.
Yeah. Why'd you gave up on the football game?
Because I was with my bride.
Ah.
She gave up on
it. Yeah. Well, what is the score
it was
now?
Tied.
It was 323
yeah.
and a half.
Oh shit. I would turn it back on here.
Rams Chiefs, folks.
Yeah.
Game of the year.
Now we're talking about here, Joe. We're talking about Thanksgiving and Black Friday and
wow, that's racist.
yeah, and Cyber Monday and all that shit.
What about small town? Or
That's
what we were just talking about.
Yep.
That is that what it's called? What's it called?
Small Business Saturday.
Yeah,
Small Business. That's right.
We said neither of us really do that, honor that.
No.
We don't make sure.
Well,
it's more for women going into like trinket stores.
I think so.
Yeah,
boutiques. But we were talking about the one store in town that I can't remember the name of. That the lady lets her cats run around on all the T-shirts and shit.
I think that's Rural King.
Rural King's a whole different set of problems. You got chickens
chicken
and
shit on everything.
It has a funny smell to it.
Rabbit fur.
Some guy will go pick up a rabbit and then grab a handful of popcorn out of them.
I went to Rural King.
I love Rural King, by the way.
I do too. Yesterday I was there.
Camouflage couch.
Recliner, couch, whatever you need. If you need camouflage something, that's your place. But we went there looking for my older dog. He's got some
Was
weird.
He there?
No, I didn't take him with me, but I could have taken him with me. I didn't.
I meant, did you find him there? Because you were looking for your older dog.
No, I was looking for stuff. I was looking for food specifically. So my sister was telling me that some dog food called Blue Buffalo.
Yeah, right.
It's like all natural,
Mm-hmm.
and so she's like, "You need to get this Blue Buffalo because he's
the cheapest place to get it."
Yeah, and I had no idea that they have one of the largest selections of dog food.
Oh yeah,
and they got probably I'm not exaggerating, 15 different varieties of all natural, like grain free, simple ingredients, nothing too complex. Because your dogs, I mean, they're animals too.
They also have the most different utensils to mutilate a horse.
True. Yeah. Or to change a battery in a car. You know.
A farm battery.
I didn't need that. I didn't know I needed all this stuff, but apparently I do.
6 pieces of felt for a battery.
So I ended up buying. We didn't buy the Blue Buffalo. We bought another brand. But we looked at all the propaganda that they had on the display, and then we looked it up on our phone, and we looked at the ingredients, and so we think he gets like real bad ear infections, and he's a golden retriever. He's a golden doodle, so golden retriever and poodle, but he looks like a golden retriever, so he has those like Labrador ears that hang down, and they get a lot of infections because they trap moisture and shit. So his ears are always funky and stuff. So he just got done with an inner ear infection, which caused paralysis on the left side of his face. It was fucked up and scary as hell. And then as soon as he got that cleared up and his face started looking normal, he looked like he had a fucking stroke. He looked like half of his face was hanging down. I was like, I just lost
drooling and everything.
He was. Drool was everywhere. And I was like, I just lost a dog because I didn't pay close enough attention to her ailments. I blame myself probably maybe more than I should. I don't know. Probably not enough. And I'm like, I'm not fucking letting that happen again with, I know. I'm not letting that happen again with Archie. So I'm like, all right, I got to figure out what's going on with this fucking dog. So we get the one ear fixed. His face starts to look normal. And then his other ear has this like, it's a yeast infection. There's no other way to put it. And the vet prescribed some Monostat 7 or something like that to squirt in his ear. And it is something stat. So it's basically the same stuff, I think. It's like the same. Dogistat, yeah. And so I'm like, all right, so we're going to get that shit cleared up. And it's already doing better. But I asked the vet, I'm like, how do I solve this ear issue once and for all? And she's like, well, it's an allergy and you need to change his food, So she's like, what are you feeding him? I was like, It's what is it called?
Alpo?
No, it's the pedigree. It's pedigree something or other. And we used to feed them like Purina Dog Chow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they've been around they've been around forever.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you should probably go with like Purina 1 at least. And probably something even better than that. Something that has lamb and rice and no fillers. And I'm like, fuck.
They told me that like not Purina 1, but like that shit food.
Yeah.
The one you were talking about.
Yeah. Purina Dog
That
Chow.
would be basically like eating a steady diet of fast food for humans.
Yep.
As opposed to like when you eat the Blue Buffalo would be more of a
Lean and like salads and steaks and shit like that. Yeah.
You're eating a leaner meal, so it's
So we're there and we buy this bag of whatever the hell it's
and
called.
you got to buy the like 40-pound.
Yeah, it's a big bag because he's
$65.
it was not cheap. And then so we got this fucking puppy, and so in that same area they got clothes for the dog. And I used to make fun of my dad because he had this little Chihuahua, and he was all about buying sweaters for the fucking dog. And I was like, dude, you're fucking queer. You know what are you doing buying clothes for your dog? Come on. Well, I bought a coat for my dog, and it's pretty cute. You saw it. It's pretty damn cute.
Nice.
And so I've become that guy.
Dog coats go, you're all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Now my wife wants to get little like UGG boots. I'm like, that might be going too far. I don't know, but I spent like $100 on dog shit. Not dog shit, dog stuff. I got plenty of dog shit in the backyard, but yeah, I bought the sweater. I bought toys. Bought a pig that oinks. When they chew on it, it's cool.
Right.
Dogs
got
love
one
it.
of those.
Yeah. So. But yeah, man, I spent a lot of damn money. And I went there for the old dog and ended up coming home with toys for the little dog. She had a little fucker spoiled. But anyway, how did I get on that?
I don't know.
Rural King.
Local business.
Yeah, there's a
Which
place to
is
go.
only half qualifies as local
it's not
business.
really local.
It's sort
but
of a chain.
They do let pets walk around on a leash, but they don't let cats just climb around on your fucking licorice.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some rules, and every store should. The store that I can't remember the name of in town, it's just like, it's not a zoo. Yeah, you're trying to sell me this product. You don't know who's allergic or who has issues. Yeah.
What are they?
They sell like T-shirts and like they sell.
Is it the one down there, like by Gallagher's?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it.
Emma's friends works there.
And they got cool T-shirts. They got like, if you like local shit, they got stuff that says like, I'm from Illinois and or whatever, and that's
Lost my virginity in Rocher.
yeah. So they got cool stuff, but I couldn't buy anything there. Oh, you could just take them and wash it. It's like I can't even walk in the place. I walk out and I'm itching for the rest of the day. I got to go and take a shower.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you own a small business, keep your pets put away. Whether they're dogs or cats, I don't care what they are. Just keep them put away.
Yep.
Don't need some dog drooling on my fucking T-shirts either.
Well,
anyway,
that's probably good enough for this Thanksgiving special. We talked about turkey and sweet potatoes and
food.
What do you
weird fucking food? You got any weird food you eat at Thanksgiving? You just had a Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yesterday.
Get up here. Scoot up here so we can hear you a little bit better. You don't have to be like right on the microphone, but that way you're not yelling.
Right. We have, I guess, it's not really weird, but it's like this cranberry relish. It's cranberries and a ton of sugar and apples, like chunks of apples. It's fucking delicious. It's good, but it's weird,
Yeah.
And then that's at her side. On my side, I guess the weirdest thing is there's always a pasta dish, like a lasagna or something. As well
No
as
shit.
turkey. And then, like, this year it's called Lazy Man Lasagna they're doing. But in years past, we've done like like those tater tots and hamburger cheese. You know what I'm talking about?
like a casserole kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
We've had that. We also do turkey loaf, which I eat that, like there's still a big bird and everything, but then those turkey loaves.
Yeah.
Those fucking processed.
Right.
Yeah.
White dark. They're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
they
a
look
butterball, whatever kind
they
of,
look
yeah.
like,
So is there
pound cake tin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there something that if you were to go to Thanksgiving at someone else's house that if they didn't have something, you'd be like, well, fuck, this just isn't Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
Just turkey. That's it. I wouldn't be like, like mashed potatoes.
No. I mean, normally, you're always going to have something.
Sweet potatoes, something like that.
Sweet, or they're going to come hard with the green bean casserole.
Right.
Something's going to come at you heavy regardless.
Yeah.
So if there isn't mashed potatoes, there's probably going to be some au gratin potatoes or something like that.
Right,
Or there's going to be something.
There's gonna be a starch.
People fucking load up on starches.
Yeah.
Like, my wife makes this spoon bread, which is like cornbread and corn and all that. Yeah, I'm already having problems with that.
It's doing a number on you.
No Colonel came out cream style.
Right on, man.
That's about it. I don't really have any. Weird. Come on, it's food, man.
Yeah, it's all pretty good. I we've talked enough about my weird shit, but I don't know. I think if I was to go to someone else's house and they were nice enough to feed me dinner, I definitely wouldn't be bitching about like, where's my fucking turnips? Where?
You go to Larry Rice,
yeah. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth, but yeah, I think that if I'm making Thanksgiving and I'm someday, I guess I'm going to be in charge, of my sister is, and we're going to be like, fuck, we're missing something. What are we missing? We forgot the Brussels sprouts, or whatever it is, that there's certain things that are just tradition in your family that they have to be there. Otherwise it's not Turkey Day. So hopefully you got everything that you were looking for and nothing was forgotten.
Let us know your favorite dishes. What's the one thing you can't do without?
Yeah. Or not.
What's the weird
or
ass
if you're
dish
selling a drone.
Yeah.
If you're selling a drone, let
Ryan
me know.
needs the hookup.
I'm interested. Buying a used DJI Mavic something drone. I don't know. Something cool. But I don't want to spend a shit ton of money. Like $500 would be a good
What's
good
a cool
price
drone
range.
for not a lot of money?
Yeah. $500. I'm good with $500.
Okay.
I'd pay that if it was in good shape, Yeah. So anyway, let us know. @Load This Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Send us an email, loadthispodcast@gmail.com, or check us out on YouTube. Get a load of this podcast on YouTube.
Very good. We've been screwing that up lately, but you nailed it this time.
Crushing it over here.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Again, we mentioned this last time, but we appreciate all our listeners and our friends and family and our country and food and all that.
All that stuff.
Great stuff.
All that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Enjoy Cyber Monday. Get some good deals.
And fuck
as
the
usual,
Cubs.
fuck the Cubs.
Yeah.
Until next time, I'm Jarod.
I'm Ryan, and
It's Joe.
And get a load
from
of
the
this.
depths.
All right.
We're talking about the fact
Thanksgiving food.
that I'm this close to quitting tobacco.
Your job? Oh.
Well, no. Can't do that.
Really?
No, yeah, just,
Huh.
You ever...
It's a momentous occasion.
Well, I haven't done shit
happened
yet,
yet.
but, it's like, well, you don't have... I don't know if you have any vices or whatever. Things that you know are bad for you. Well, maybe beer.
Podcasting.
Now. Yeah. But, you have a moment where you're like, this just isn't fun anymore, It happened whenever I smoked. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like waking up feeling like shit.
Yeah.
I don't like coughing up a lung all,
Right.
and I don't like smelling like this, I just want to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. And then I picked up another bad habit. And it's like now I just, it's so automatic. It's so stupid. And so I was shopping for Nicorette gum and I was going to buy it. I was at the Walmart and I was looking at it and I was like, man, that's a lot of money for chewing gum. And I was like, maybe Amazon's got it. So I haven't looked at Amazon yet. But I got to imagine Amazon does, right? Wouldn't you think that they would sell Nicorette gum?
Cheap ass.
Get a sponsorship.
You didn't want to quit. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll get it on Prime.
Well, I bought the coffee pouches and that didn't work out. But
Maybe you can get it on Black Friday.
yeah, that's exactly what people look for on Black Friday.
Yeah, Cyber Monday. Nicorette.
Yeah, we got a deal on Nicorette gum. Yeah. Let's
All right.
go.
Yep. Ready?
Sure.